So in Fusion 360, whenever you dimension from an arc to an arc, it wants to go to the center points. How do we change that? Hey, Tyler Beck with Tech and Espresso. So when we're talking about dimensioning from arc to arc, like with this slot, for example, by default, when you place the smart dimension and go to these two arcs, it wants to go to their center points. And that's kind of how it's set up, which in some cases is great. That's how you want to dimension and drive this. But maybe those aren't the dimensions that you know or the ones that you care about. So how do we do that? Well, when you're placing your first dimension, you can, starting with the smart dimension, I'll hit D on my keyboard or find it here in the menu. And what I'm going to do before I even select these arcs is I'm going to right click and make sure that it's going to the arc tangent. I'll select it, select this one, and it's selecting the outer arcs, and now I can drive it this way. All right, let's look a little closer. There's a lot more options here that I kind of skipped over. Okay, so let's look at another example using kind of the same tools. So when I go to D for Smart Dimension, you'll notice I have a rectangle with some holes. And maybe you want to dimension from this outer tangency to the edge. Or you want to dimension from this kind of inner tangency to the edge. Your choice, you get to decide. Right click on the object, make sure it's going to the arc tangent, and then hover nearest the area that you care about. So if we want to go from this outer to this edge, that's how I'll select it. And we'll drive it that way. The next thing, let's try doing the inner to this outer edge. And now we want to do this interior to this edge. So make sure that I right click on the circle, arc tangent, select this side, go to that edge. And now I can get this interior dimension, drive it that way. All right, now let's talk about the tricky one. I want to go from this interior arc that's not really showing because it's a slot tool, the circle's not completed, but it sure looks like you can do it. So watch this. So when I hit D for Smart Dimension, come to this arc, right click, tangent, arc tangent. When I click it and hover, I'm going to click it and bring it over. Look, it wants to place to this interior arc dimension. That's exactly what I want. I place it and it overrides it to an outer. So the only way I know to work around this, and it is a workaround, and I would love it if anyone in the community knows how to fix this, let me know in the comments down below. But here's how I know to do the workaround. I'll sketch a circle that matches, right click on that circle, and then do normal for construction, or hit X on your keyboard and it'll make it a construction circle. Now it's very easy to do. You can just make sure you're going to the arc tangent, select that interior, and it places it and it works great. So if you wanted to go to interior on a slot, right now this is the best way I know how to do it, is make sure that you're going to your arc tangents and select those dimensions to interior, and it works. So if you know a better way, let me know in the comments down below. Hope this is helpful. See you in the next video.